Hello guys, welcome again to EJ Crypto, Ejanla Crypto. Welcome again. So it's been a while that I've uploaded some content. I decided to take a little bit of break because I've been very busy recently. So I decided to take a little bit of time off, and since it seems we've been covering so much of the information in the PULSEX and X ecosystem at the moment, and the post-chain ecosystem altogether, I feel it was a good thing to take a little bit of break off and wait till when we get a very strong update before I do any video. But for this video, if you can see, as you can see on your page, on your screen at the moment, you can see current sentiment. I know you have not seen such content so far in this ecosystem, so I decided to come up with this. I was just thinking about it and felt, well, why not do something about the sentiment between PLX and PLSS, how people have been switching their sentiment from one end to another. So merely looking at this sentiment chart, I know it passed a lot of message to everyone, or a lot of people in this X post-chain and post-X ecosystem. So one thing I would like to talk about is this. So far, some of the truth that are very clear from this project is the fact that a lot of people were not aware of post-chain sacrifice, or a lot of people missed out on post-chain sacrifice. So they found PLSS sacrifice as a safe haven or an opportunity to get in. So because this is actually obvious if you look at what we have here. Let me just go to, okay, not here. Let me just go to, let's compare POSX lead and POS lead and POSS lead. POSS lead is the website that shows us the total amount of money that has been sacrificed so far for the project. So for POSX, this is possesslead.com. If you look downward here, I want you to follow my mouse. Just follow this mouse downward this way to this right corner here. You see this total wallets. Then can you see this 130,000 wallets? So these are 130,000 wallets that are sacrificed for this project. If you compare it with Pulse Chain, which sacrifice was done last year, let's check it out. If you come down here, okay, do we have the information here? I feel, yeah, good. Look at the top here, leaderboard, count of wallets who have sacrificed 41,810. So if we have 41,000 here, if I go to my calculator, let me bring my calculator out here so you see something. Calculator, I bring my calculator here and I put this for process lead. We have 130. Let me just say 131 because we're likely going to get to 131. 121,000 divided by, what do we have here? 41. Let me just call that 42 divided by 42,000. So we have, which means we have 3 times more. Is it 3 times more or 2 times more? So that means we have times 3 of what we have in post-chain sacrifice, in POSS sacrifice. So basically, from that, if we have times 3 of that, that means half of those wallets can sell into PLS before the launch of the bridge, and we'll still have like that 1/4 of the whole PLSX can be swapped into PLS, and PLS will still have a huge amount of people in the project. So, and that's why a lot of people that's where the sentiment now started building up, and For those who have sacrificed for PLS, they, you know, the first people who sacrifice for all these projects are execants. If you are new to this, if you are new to Richard Art's project, you may need to want to do research about who the execants are. The execants are those who have unwavering support for Richard Art's projects because they made a lot of fortune from buying the project or buying the tokens called X that Richard Art designed last year, and a lot of them made a lot of money. So, you know, that's why you have those Zionist kind of support for Richard Art and his project. So, and that's not surprising to anyone. So the execants have actually gained the trust. I mean, let me say, Richard Hart has actually gained the trust of the execants. So when PULSECHAIN sacrifice was launched, they never think twice about it. They went all in to, you know, sacrifice. But for those who were not used to Richard Hart's project before, were not aware, they were skeptical about the PULSECHAIN until they saw the big, huge returns from X. Because let me be honest with you, a lot of people came to sacrifice for PULSEX or PULSECHAIN. They came because maybe an execant told them about it, or someone told them about so much of money, the amount of money they made from buying X. So that's how it works. So basically, because, well, if you are new and you don't really understand the difference between these three projects, I think you should go and watch some of the previous videos. So I'll basically touch about PULSECHAIN. PULSECHAIN is like Ethereum. In short, it's Ethereum's fork. So while PULSEX is basically like Uniswap, a DEX where people swap PULSECHAin for other coins, or swap other coins for PULSECHAin. So that's the difference between these two. So because PULSECHAin is the native token, the network itself, and many execants, you know how execants are, they are very how will I put it, they are kind of devoted, like, you know, devoted, like very religious about their investment. So, well, everybody have the way they attach emotions to their investment. I'm not really concerned. A lot of people who have been watching video on this channel knows that I'm not emotionally attached to anything. I just try to do my video as neutral as possible and as objective as possible. So I'm not going to be going gaga about any project. Even if a project gives me millions of returns, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm dying here or not that. No, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to support the project. Of course, I'm going to support the project. I've onboarded a lot of people into this PULSEX sacrifice and many projects like that, but that does not really mean that I'm going to be, you know, overly emotionally attached to any project. Okay, the project is good, fine, and I'll continue to work with the project and see how much of good we can get from the project as much as possible for the long term. So, but that does not mean that I am not going to also check things out and see whether it's going well or not. So these people are very bullish on PULSECHAin when PULSECHAin was launched, and they, in their mind, because Richard had also informed everyone that there was going to be a DEX token, so in their mind they felt that no, that one is going to be second fiddle, so it's not going to be anything special, so let's just forget about it. PULSECHAin is the main guy here, and PULSECHAin is going to pump. And luckily for them, a lot of people were not aware about PULSECHAin. A lot of people, some people were aware, they don't want to take the risk. But now we have so much people in PULSEX sacrifice. Now I've just shown you the difference, that the number of wallets is for the PULSEX sacrifice is like 3 times more than that of Pulse. So basically, for someone who has a huge bag in PLS, what the sentiment will be naturally is that, oh my goodness, we've hit it big, because a lot of people are sacrificing for PULSEX and they want to swap into PULSECHAin. Come on, we are going to be filthy rich. Well, There's nothing wrong with your opinion if you feel that way, and there's nothing wrong with anyone if they feel that way. And I'm not going to in any way feel that it's not going to be possible. For me, if as I try to be objective as an objective person, I feel pulse chain is going to pump early, very early on, especially when it launches. That has been my sentiment. If you go and watch my previous video, I've always said that. But on the other hand, I also have the sentiment that at some point, that's this is my own sentiment. There's a personal bias. It doesn't mean that it's 100% going to be like that. So believe that at some point along the way, PULSEX will flip pulse chain. It doesn't mean that pulse chain will not flip it back, but I know at some point it will flip for pulse chain because of the buyback and burn mechanism. And look at the recent update that Richard Hart gave on Twitter. I don't know if I can check that. Let me just open a new tab so that we can see. If you go to Richard Hart's page, the recent update about the DEX, basically you can, according to the update, you will be able to just put your let me see Richard Hart. I don't know why it's okay. So basically with that update, it shows that you can just stake only your X without a risk of impairment loss. So just like normally you would do, you just have to hold your coin, put it in that pool, stake your coin PLSX, then you earn these incentive tokens. So if you go here, you can see the latest update from Richard Hart. I'm trying to see if I can find it here. I think it's around this point in time. Yeah, this was its most recent. So you can basically stake your PLSS and earn the new incentive tokens, which is going to be inflated. So a lot of people are not expecting this information before now. So it appears that every day PULSEX is kind of gathering momentum and developing a lot of tokenomics that is helping with the project for a lot of people to now see that come on, this PULSEX may just eventually flip pulse chain. So there's a particular guide I'm going to use as a case study on Twitter for you to see how it has been changing from how the sentiment has been changing from PLS to PLSS. So like I said earlier, a lot of hexicans believe that pulse chain is going to do far better than PULSEX. But I noticed that recently, because I've been following all of this on the social media, and at this point I will basically advise everyone, if you're watching this video, that it is better if you subscribe. Okay, if you subscribe and you click the notification bell. If other people are not doing sentiment video, of course, I'm the first person who is going to do a video on the market sentiment in this ecosystem. So if for that alone, you can just subscribe and make sure that anytime there's a new video, you can quickly come and see where the sentiment in the market is shifting to. This is based on a lot of research and following of the projects on social media to see how people are thinking about it and how they are changing their sentiments, around. This will help you to be able to think and make some decisions. So, but remember, this video is not in any way financial advice. It's just it's just for an education purposes and for fun too. So I'll go to this my case study. This guy called Jenkins. I think he has his YouTube channel too, Cosmos Jenkins. So I want you to look at this day. This is January 13th, 2022. So look at what it said here. It said, okay, this is it. January 13th, 2022. It says, unpopular opinion in 2022 for whatever reason, PLS is greater than PLSX. Yes, I know we are all making money on both. If you click on this tweet, you will see some of his response. I want you to read, please. This one say, look at the sentiment here. This guy says, Nobody needs PLSS, but everyone needs PLS to do anything on the network. It's just that simple. For that reason, PLSS is much more speculative. Everyone is trying to get PLS in the charts, and swapping PLSS for PLS is a central strategy. See what Jenkins says. Yeah, agreed. A ton of PLSX is in demand strictly just to get PLS. Well, do you agree with what is happening here? Well, in my own opinion, I agree. If you have looked at some of my previous videos, I've done videos on this, and I said, well, a lot of people are coming into this ecosystem to get PLS with PLSS. In short, if you go to Etherscan to check, let me go to Etherscan. Go to Etherscan here. Etherscan here. I want you to check. I want you to look at something. If you go to Etherscan, let's just enter PulseChain, sacrifice. PulseChain sacrifice. This is the wallet address here. If you come here, you will see some transactions. PulseChain, people are still sacrificing here. Look at this. This is 5 hours ago. 5 hours ago, 18 minutes. Somebody sacrificed 0.00 ETH. So, so when you look at things like this, it shows that some people are desperate to get into PulseChain. That's how I understand it. Look at it 6 hours ago. I remember that this the sacrifice for PulseChain is already over. For everyone who is saying in this ecosystem, everyone knows that it doesn't make sense for you to start pushing money into PulseChain at this point in time when you have PulseX there to sacrifice into, you can swap into PulseChain. So because we are not having so much people doing this sacrifice, and it shows that there are a lot of people who wish to do sacrifice for PulseChain, but now it's over. So all they can do is do sacrifice for PulseX. So whether we like it or not, whether you want to admit it, whether you miss out on PulseChain and now you're in PulseX and you wish PulseX to do better, you wish, you are just being hopeful, not based on any research you have done. You are just having a hope within your heart and feel, because I have PulseX and I do not have PulseChain, and some people have PulseChain, I want my own coin to be better than the other, and that's what we call opium. I did a video on opium. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to say because you are holding a coin it must do better than others. No, you can only say that because the coin you are holding has good or better tokenomics, or because it has better fundamental, then it will outperform another coin because its fundamental and tokenomics is better than the other coin. That's how it works. Okay, putting emotions, using your emotions for on investment will not make you have a better gain. It is when the project is actually a project that has the potential of gain, that's where you have a better gain. So you don't need to be having that kind of opium. So at that point, let's go back to the tweet. Let me take some water, please. In case you're yet to subscribe, don't forget, make sure you subscribe. This channel has been dedicated a lot to Exicans, to Richard's projects. Although I'm not emotionally overly obsessive, I'm not here to tell you only the good part or only the sweet part. A lot of people who are used to this channel already know that. That's none of my business to sing the happy song all the time alone. No. And it is not my job to sing the sad or spread forward and say what is not right about the project. No. But I'll try to make sure that I try to be balanced. I'm not perfect, so sometimes it may look like I move a little bit to a particular direction more than the other direction, but nevertheless I'll try to be objective. So for those who like being objective, this is the channel where you want to be. Okay, not just spreading only the happy moments. No, we spread both the happy moments, we spread when things are stale, and we spread when things are not that good. We express it that okay, this is what is happening. No need to sugarcoat anything. This is investment. Okay, so let's go back to this guy called Jenkins. So he said it here. He said, I agreed a ton of PLS is in demand strictly just to get PLS. I'll refer to this statement again when we continue with our research. So come down here. Say these two are created by the same person. A Richard Hart would say they will both do well. Does not matter which is better. Both are part of the ecosystem that Richard Hart created. We all live in a tiny little pond. Okay, he said very true, and I agree, but we all care about price performance, so comparing any crypto is relevant. So this person say PLS is way more valuable than PLSX in all aspects, but it does not mean PLSS is not valuable too. It will be the best vehicle for PLS adoption and appreciation. I believe more than 50% of PLSS sacrifice is to get PLS after launch. I can't wait to see how they perform. This man said agreed. I believe this man has a lot of post-chain coin. So, and I believe that Jenkins has a lot of bag of post-chain too. So it's obvious when you are deep in a particular project, you kind of, want, a lot of people have sacrificed for post-chain for, is it not almost, okay, it's not up to a year. It was done around July last year, I think. So a lot of people are holding their money there. You don't expect such person to expect that his project will not perform very well, okay? Of course, it will be hopeful that for that long time he has bought the coin, he should be doing well. So look at what this person says. Have you seen K2K, K4K crypto videos, specifically his opinion on PLSX and PLS? He said yes, he has seen it. If you have not watched K4K video, you can go and watch his video about PLSX and the potential. It's such a eye-opening video. So I want to, there's a particular side where he said opium, like this one say, he said nobody needs PLSX, but everyone needs PLS to do anything in the network. It is just that simple. For that reason, PLSX is much more speculative. Everyone is trying to get PLS in charts and swapping PLSS for PLS is a central strategy. He said agreed, a ton of PLS is in demand strictly just for PLS. So you see all of this, this seems so obvious. Don't see how this is unpopular. How could the DEX have more value than the platform it's built upon? Then this guy said, that's how I feel. But being part of both sacrifices, the Twitter feel has been buzzing a lot harder for this current one. Okay? Felt a lot of people who did the post-chain sacrifice were kind of feeling somehow because PULSEX tend to or appear to receive a lot of adoption from the people. So they feel that, come on, this is wrong. How can the DEX appear to have more potential than the network itself? So they kind of feel that this should not be possible, because that's how I interpret this, and I understand where they're coming from. And like I said in some of my videos, I said, well, post-chain is going to outperform PULSEX because a lot of people will FOMO into post-chain when it launched, especially before the breach. So, but I also felt that after the breach, that post-chain is going to correct, while PULSEX is going to pump. Those are just my personal opinion. So look at this place. Explain your reasoning if you will, as I thought this was actually the common head perception, hence the constant talk of sacrificing for PLSS purely to swap to PLS pre-breach. Then Jenkins said Ethereum greater than Uniswap, PLS greater than PLSS, Uniswap on steroids with massive pumpermentals. Okay, so basically what is happening here as at January 13th to 13th was that a lot of post-chain holders or the people in the ecosystem, both PULSEX holders, believe that, well, post-chain is better than PULSEX. Well, if you look at it on the face value, you will say post-chain is better than PULSEX because post-chain is the network and PULSEX is just the DEX. And if you have looked at previous projects like Binance and PancakeSwap, the network has always done better than the DEX. But unfortunately, if you look at the move by like last year, was it not last year Cake was launched or so? So if you look at the move by Cake, you'll see that the number of increment that Cake had within a short period of time is more than what BNB had at the same period. I mean, within that same period. Okay, so that's just an opinion. So which means that at some point the DEX can actually perform better than the network or the native token. I mean, at some point. But the difference between those ones and PULSEX is the fact that Those one does not really have, those ones are inflationary, but PULSEX is deflationary, which means it continues to reduce in supply. PLS2 is a little bit deflationary because a particular amount of the uh, coin, which is PLS, that is being distributed to the what's it called, the validators, is being burned too, but not as the rate at which PLSS is going to be burning. Imagine having 609,000 or so, 609,000, over 600,000 USD buying and burning PLSX if the volume of transaction is up to 1 billion every day. So basically, within no time, we may not have much PLSX in circulation anymore. So that is how that works. But I want you to see how the opinion of this man has changed over time. So that's where we'll go to now. So I will just go a little bit back to where we're coming from. So we'll scroll up this way. Look at this place. Say X is a beta BTC, PLS is a beta Ethereum, PLSS is a beta Uni. He was still holding to the idea that PLS was better than PLSS at this point. So if we continue going this way, just monitor along with me. Come here. Yes, this is January 15. He said PLSS buy and burn is next level. Now it's a matter of getting commodities beyond X to actively stay on the chain and pump volume into it. Depending on how the markets react to the massive airdrop, we may see the entire world of crypto change right before our very eyes. I think this was after I watched K4K video. So let's continue guys. Let's move on. Well, the sentiment is not about this man alone, but I'm just kind of, it's like a very popular guy, so whenever I tweet, I check the reaction of people to it. So let's look at this. Say we're all about to get dump rich on PLS when PLS goes live. 2022 may turn out to be the best year for participants in crypto. Okay, we move this way, we go up. Okay, look at this. This is January 20. Say once the PLS mainnet goes live, there really isn't any need to have any of your X on the ETH network outside of existing stakes. Bringing your bags to PULSECHAIN and transacting on PULSEX will pump your own bag constantly like non-stop. Okay, the sentiment was still about PULSECHAIN here. Okay, we keep going here. Keep going. Just make sure you finish watching this video because this gives an idea of where the sentiment is, and if I notice any change, I will make sure that I update you guys too on this place. So we'll continue this way. That was not too relevant. Okay, let's go up. Okay, so I would you will get to see how. Yeah, let's come here. Say this February 5th. Yeah, good. He said you want more PLS, buy it with cash. You want more PLSS, buy it with cash. You want more X, buy it with cash. Don't be fooling around trading your coins trying to outsmart the market when PULSECHAIN mainnet goes live. Do nothing old, accumulate, sell after your life changes. At this point, there was a serious discussion about whether to swap PLSS for PULSECHAIN on the day when the mainnet launched before the breach. So I think this tweet was a reaction to that. The sentiment as at that point was that some people were saying that they will swap a portion for PLS. We're talking about ratio. If you have been following this project, you see there was a particular time people were talking about ratio. That was when he tweeted about that. So as at that time, a lot of people were very bullish on PULSECHAIN, very bullish on PULSECHAIN, thinking that okay, well, PULSECHAIN is going to do far better than PULSEX. But look at this is February 8th. That was yesterday, man. So he said, did PLS just become the most interesting token in crypto? Did you just see that that change in sentiment? Well, I responded to him here. I said, that is the no star in town. I believe there will be more bigger opportunities after launch, as some will exit into PLS from PLSX. It will be interesting. Waiting to buy the D below ICO though. Okay. Now, Look at this. Somebody requoted this tweet previously. Say, is it me or are people expecting way too much out of PULSEX as opposed to actual PLS itself? Can you see the sentiment as at that time? So so this guy said, oof, that comment did not age well. It's okay, we all get bored sometimes and type weird shit on the computer. Okay, so it was as a result of what Richard had posted. So that was why he said that word. Look at some of the comments below here. Said, so people gonna swap PLS for PLSX now? Lol. Kind of like the opportunity of being on the contrarian side of this trade, with people falling over themselves to swap PLSS for PLS, but perhaps the tide is shifting. Do you see now? Sentiment shifting. Then this guy replies, I don't think so, but people will swap both because they missed out on one of the two. Do you see the change in sentiment here now? So look at this. They say we will see who swaps their PLS for PLS pre-bridge. Well, peeps that missed the PLS sacrifice will need a few PLS for gas. Well, look at this. I was keeping my fingers crossed for PLS staking, and look, our man RH coming through with another economic incentive to hold that PLS. Okay, look at this guy. Say, I knew PLSX would have staking option for the reward token. It has to have that utility, born or not, to keep up the best value proposition. You get the deepest on PLS mainnet, liquidity, and native token options. RH spends all his time thinking about how to make us rich. This one say, with auto and manual compounding, it definitely is a winner. So see that this one will finally have a home team DEX, and PLS is indeed a very interesting token. Okay, so now you can see how quickly the sentiment change. Let's look at this. Say, anyone choosing one token over the others is taking a chance I wouldn't be willing to take. Safest bet and smartest play is holding PLSS X, in my own opinion, and in roughly amount after a few years profit from other two get funnel into hex. This guy said 100%. So if you check through these comments, you see a lot of thinking that has drastically changed from the initial opinion of PULSECHAIN being better than PULSEX. So let's go up. Look at what he said again. I felt it was unsettled a little bit. He was finding it difficult to admit that the DEX will outperform the native token, which is very rare in the market, but this may just be the first one that will appear to happen that way. Look at what he said again 22 hours ago. He said, I'm starting to think we can treat PLSX like a meme coin and pump that MF out of the world. He said we've seen these things like Doge and SHIB pump for no reason. There is no much hype behind PLS. There is so much hype behind PLSS on the internet, and that's all any token needs to send its investor to financial freedom. Can you get that now? Can you see the change in sentiments? If you look at some of the reply here, because whether you like it or not, what is more important is making profit. Whether it's the DEX, whether it's the main token, the native token, whatever. What is important to an investor is for him to make profit. So why should you hold or attach an emotions to you say it's a layer one, it's the network, so it's a must that I must outperform the DEX. No, you cannot hold such view. What you can hold is if you look at a project and you do your research and you feel with this tokenomics and maybe because of the technical analysis or fundamental analysis behind this thing, your research, this coin is going to outperform the other, not because you feel that a coin should outperform the other. You cannot use your emotion, you cannot use your feeling to pump a coin. A coin or a project succeeds based on prospects, so you have to focus on the prospect and see. Look at what is happening here. Say, Jenkins, you're learning, bro. Say, I can't deny the hype. Also the staking feature. As the product evolves, my world view evolves. Can you see that now, guys? So if you look at the thumbnail of this video, it is as accurate as possible. Current sentiment, it has shifted from this PLS region to PLSX. I want to be modest and leave it at this point. If the sentiments go beyond this and comes to this point, I'm going to redraw this and bring this sentiments chart back to you guys and talk about it. So you see, he said K4K just had 399 people watching his PLSX video, YouTube video. I think the momentum is really starting to swing to PLSX. I would definitely want some of Paul's coin as well, but I'm starting to think I'm fortunate that I missed the first sacrifice. Look at what this guy says. I don't anything who sacrifice anyone sacrifice for PULSECHAIN during the official 19-day phase is unfortunate to have sacrificed. I sacrificed a lot for both and I'm very happy I did. So a lot of sentiment was changing at this point for such a guy who sacrificed for both projects to be changing his thinking. And of course, I think he knows a little bit more because he has X, he's holding X to some extent. Look at this. Look at what he said here. He said things don't need to make sense to make money in crypto. Do you get that? This is also about PULSEX because he feels that PULSECHAIN should have outperformed PULSEX, not because the tokenomics of PULSECHAIN is better than that of PULSEX, but because it feels normally the native token should outperform the DEX. But now he's seeing it that it appears that this DEX may just pull something out of the bag and just outperform the native token. So that's why he's changing his voice here. He say, and I kind of like it sometimes. I like stupid money. This is 100%. I've made so much money on meme coins compared to good technology coins in the past 4 years. Exchange that, but still. So through that, just glad I'm in the ones that make a lot of sense. Okay, so I know he was kind of trying to refer to PULSEX here because PULSEX has been gathering a lot of momentum, a lot of support. Look at it, he had to even put on the chart. Here's the real question: HGRN or pure PULSEX? You see 1,500 something votes, and we have 91 from this. So guys, this is about the sentiment here. You can go ahead, if you click on PULSEX here and you go to the chart, some of the search here, you will see, I don't know what this guy said. I've not gone through this video, but let me just play it and see what he said, because it seems he changed his opinion about the project of Richard Hart. So let's see what he said. Let me increase my volume here.
Not to some extent, but the point is, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. There are plenty.
Let me take it back. It's okay.
When you're doing something small, like I think it's kind of impossible not to some extent. But the point is, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. There are plenty of YouTubers out there that do it, and I wish them all the best on building their channels that way. From this point forward, on this channel, on BitBoy Crypto channel, on the BitBoy Crypto, all of our socials, we are never doing sponsored content again. So we have just decided. I know yesterday we talked a lot about this channel growing up a little bit. The investors, some level when you're doing something small.
Well, I really do not know what he's talking about, but what this guy said, I'm glad BitBoy Crypto is learning from visionary genius founder philanthropist Richard Hart when high integrity example and making sure there is no more sponsor content. Hopefully this is a new beginning to tell the truth about X, PULSEX and PLS. So what does that about that? So if you check the sentiment here, look at this. They say, I know at least, yeah, good. I would like to talk about this. Yes, the same guy Jenkins here said, still trying to one way go back to his initial thinking. He said, I know at least 15 to 20 people who are onboarded to X in real life, who are getting hundreds of millions of PLSX and are dumping for PLS day one. Whether you like it or not, he's telling you guys now that 15 guys out of his network are going to dump PLSS for PLS regardless. Okay, so well, there's nothing bad about this. No, nobody really cares, but the point is that whether we like it or not, for a lot of discussion to have happened at this point, for him to have discussed down this length, it's because a lot of these guys are getting unsettled on the expectation of the DEX outperforming the native token. So this is just it. You can go ahead and check this chart. There you can see the sentiment or the current sentiment in the market. So guys, Let me see. Is that all I want to talk about? I think I have one more thing to talk about here. Yeah, one more thing I want to talk about is that a lot of people have been saying that when PulseX pumps, let's say now, it's likely going to launch at maybe 0.0001. So the buyback and bond, of course, when the price is still very low, when you have $600,000 coming in to buy a coin the price is 0.0001. Of course, it can buy millions of such coin or more. So, but when the price becomes maybe $1, how often will this the buying and bond fee be able to, how much will we be able to bond? Will we get to a particular point whereby the buying back and bond will not be evident in the price of PulseX? So I want to do a little bit of research on that and show you a chart of how what will likely happen, maybe a yearly chart of how the buyback and bond will affect the price, and maybe there will be a particular time where it will not really have so much effect on the price of the project. But nevertheless, if you are holding PulseChain or PulseX, either is good. But from the research I've done so far at the moment, I see that its current sentiment is that things are tilting towards PulseX. A lot of people are thinking, well, I initially planned to swap. Well, maybe I should not swap again, because what if for the moment PLSX outperform PLS? Will I miss out on it? What if I dump my PLSS for PLS and the buyback and bond wallet buys back my coin and it burns it off, and this PLSS started pumping? Don't forget it. The truth of the matter, one thing I can 100% likely tell you is that what will happen with the fact that it is taken now, because a lot of people invested in this project to some extent hold their coin for some time. So with this taken now, for you to hold, you won't just keep your coin. You maybe want to do some auto staking and lock your coin somewhere in the project. And while the buyback and bond keeps going, the price keep appreciating, and you are not, maybe you don't even have access to withdraw it, just like people lock their coin in X. So in my own opinion, generally, I feel all these projects should succeed by any strange thing that may happen. Well, if you have stayed this long to watch this long video, thank you very much. Please make sure you subscribe, and I'll make sure I do additional video for you guys to watch. So guys, thank you very much for watching this long. If you have any opinion, thinking, discussion, suggestion, please make sure you talk about it at the comment section. We'll see you another time. Bye.